911, what's your emergency? The operator's voice came through calm and steady, but on the other end was a frantic little voice. Please help. My Lyly dying. Ma'am, who is Lyly? My dolly. She not breathing. Her head came off. There was a beat of silence on the line. Then the voice of the dispatcher softened. Honey, where are your parents? This was the moment that would change lives, when a child's innocent plea sparked an unforgettable story of compassion, community, and the innocence of love. In a small, quiet neighborhood just outside of Houston, Texas, 5-year-old Ella was in her princess pajamas, crouched over her favorite doll, Lyly. She had received Lyly for her birthday 2 years earlier, and from that day forward, Lyly was her world, her best friend, her tea party guest, her bedtime snuggle partner. But on this particular Wednesday afternoon, Lyly had an accident. While playing pretend doctor, Ella had tried to check her heartbeat by pressing on her chest with her toy stethoscope. But the years had worn Lyly down, and with a gentle pop, the doll's head came loose and tumbled to the carpet. Panic rose in Ella's chest like a tidal wave. Tears spilled from her wide eyes as she cradled the limp doll in her arms. She didn't see plastic or fabric, she saw her best friend in distress. And like she had been taught in preschool, when there is an emergency, you call someone for help. Except, Ella didn't quite remember the right number. With tiny fingers, she dialed 9111, adding an extra digit without realizing it. Miraculously, the call was rerouted to local police department's non-emergency line. That's when dispatcher Jenna Myers picked up. At first, Jenna thought it was a prank. But something about the desperate sincerity in Ella's trembling voice pulled at her heart. I need a doctor. She not breathing. Her head's off. When Jenna finally managed to get Ella's address through gentle, patient questions, she made a decision that would go beyond protocol. Within 15 minutes, Officer David Martinez was knocking at the door of the Chavez residence. Ella's mother, Maria, opened the door, surprised, confused, and a little embarrassed when she realized what had happened. I'm so sorry, officer, she must have dialed the wrong number. She was playing with her doll but David held up a hand. No need to apologize. Where's the patient? With the solemn seriousness of a surgeon, David entered the living room to find Ella sitting cross-legged on the carpet, cradling Lyly and sobbing. She won't wake up, Ella sniffled. Can you fix her? And in that moment, something incredible happened. Officer Martinez crouched down beside Ella and took the doll gently from her hands. I think I know a special doctor who can help, he said with a smile. But I'll need your help getting her to the hospital. Do you have a car seat for Lyly? Ella's face lit up with a flicker of hope. She nodded furiously, ran to get a shoebox she decorated for Lyly's bed, and carefully placed her inside with a little pink blanket. David radioed into dispatch, not to report a call closure, but to ask a favor. There was a woman in the precinct, Detective Sandra Blake, who was a hobbyist dollmaker. She repaired vintage dolls in her free time. It was an unusual skill, but one that would soon become a lifeline in a little girl's world. Later that afternoon, David returned to the Chavez home, but he wasn't alone. He brought Lyly back, her head reattached, her dress clean, and a tiny bandage sticker wrapped around her arm. Sandra had even added a little heart patch on the chest. Ella's eyes grew round as moons. She's okay, she whispered. She's going to make a full recovery, David said. She was very brave. Ella squealed with joy, hugging Lyly tight. Thank you, doctor. David chuckled. You helped save her, Ella. You did the right thing. But the story didn't end there. News of the call spread through the department, then through the town. What could have been brushed off as a silly incident became a symbol of the kind of world we often forget exists, a world where innocence still shines, and where small acts of kindness can ripple through a community. The police department posted a photo of Ella and Lyly on their social media with the caption, "Today, we answered a different kind of emergency. And we were reminded of what it truly means to serve." The post went viral. People from all over the country sent in letters and doll clothes. One company even offered to send Ella a brand new doll, but she politely declined. I already have the best one, she said. Lyly just had a little accident. She's better now. Dash dash dash. Challenges they faced. For Ella, the challenge was emotional, coping with loss, even if it was imaginary, and not knowing what to do. For the officers, the challenge was deciding whether to engage with something outside their typical job responsibilities. For Maria, the mother, it was the realization that sometimes, the smallest crises can mean the world to a child, and how important it is to validate those emotions. They all faced a moment of decision, to dismiss, ignore, or connect. And they chose connection. Dash dash dash. By the end of the story, what did we learn? We live in a world that often teaches us to move quickly, focus on efficiency, and overlook the small stuff. But sometimes, it's the smallest voices, the ones that tremble, the ones that call out for help in innocence, that remind us who we are. Ella's story isn't just about a little girl and her doll. It's about compassion, listening, and remembering that no call for help is ever too small. Because what matters, is that someone listens. Dash dash dash. And Lyly, she sits on a little shelf in Ella's room now, dressed in her pink dress, the heart patch still visible. She's a little worn, a little mended, but full of love. Just like all of us.